Is live this morning in Longmont with a look at some of that damage. Mark, I've been watching some of the pictures that you've been posting on social media, and we see trees ripped out and homes just destroyed in some spots.
Kirk is absolutely right. It is still a mess, and we'll probably get a better idea of how big of a mess we're dealing with once the sun comes up. I want to show you an idea of how powerful the storm was, at least with the wind. This tree right here above me, all of the limbs have been completely ripped off. Everything that was on this tree is gone off of it, and it started flying as shrapnel. It had to go somewhere, so where did it end up? Right here in this yard behind me, you can see where it was, well, where this house was supposed to have some property. Everything, the trees that were here, completely ripped apart. You have to feel for the people that live here, though. They're the ones that are going to have a very tough day, and it's because you can see what happened to their house. Every window here along this property was blown out, giving you an idea of just how powerful this storm was as it hit starting about 5 o'clock yesterday, and it just didn't stop. We were out here on this piece of property from 7 p.m. until midnight last night, and you could not catch a break for the people, especially if you looked at what happened to the back end of their house. That roof is completely gone. All of these tree limbs also gone. Everything flying in every which direction. And this is just one home, of course. Not all parts of Longmont, all parts of Boulder County look like this. It's very important to be clear that not every home looks like this, but this gives you an idea of how powerful this storm was as it came through last night. Now, we saw plenty of lightning, we saw plenty of hail, and the lightning really did seem to just hover right over where we are between the Larimer County as well as the Boulder County line. It just did not go away. We see plenty of roadblocks that have been set up because they want to make sure that only homeowners and first responders can get in and out of these areas that have been hardest hit. When we see these type of storms, you of course want to make sure that people stay safe while they begin the recovery process. But for now, reporting live tonight in Longmont, Mark Meredith, Fox 31, Good Day, Colorado.
Oh, wow. And, you know, Mark, one of the things I remember from covering tornadoes elsewhere is that when you see those trees ripped out, like the one behind you there, it almost looks as if they were twisted out of the ground. Are you seeing that out there?
Twisted would be a good example. I covered the tornadoes in Moore, Oklahoma back in 2013, and a lot of the damage we're seeing here is similar to what we saw. Obviously, it's not as catastrophic. We didn't see nearly as many problems. But if you're talking about the trees specifically, how about, can we zoom in on that one, Rico, right there? Look at that. Everything was just ripped off right from that tree. The people that live at this house have been here for 40 years, and they've never seen a storm like this. So it's going to be a very long day and a very long process for recovery for these guys.
Well, I know it's been a long day for you covering it, Mark, and it's just such an unusual situation for this.
As by those storms are located, Mark, what do you have to say, and what do you see this morning?
Greg, now that the sun is up, we're getting a much better idea of just how devastating this storm is. Where I am is one of the homes that was hardest hit, if not the hardest hit. Right here behind me, you can see a horse trailer that was thrown into the air, flipped back upside down, and then thrown into this house. It's stuck between this tree right here. You can see the wheels are completely upside down. They should be on the ground. We're kind of on a ranch, if you will, and all of this has been completely destroyed. This is someone's bedroom right here. Now, the family, they're here with us. They know we're here, so we want to make sure people know that we're not trespassing or anything like that, but this is what the storm did to a bedroom right there. Rico, I don't know if you can go in just a little bit more. You can see that mirror completely shattered there on the left-hand side. There's also that mattress covered in dirt. Also looks like a gun right there on the mattress right there, because everything went flying. This storm destroyed everything in its path where it was heading, where we are pretty much between the Boulder side, Boulder County over here, and Larimer County right over there. So we're kind of stuck right in the middle of these two counties. It's unbelievable how much damage we've seen. But if I just look over here, it's an absolutely stunning morning on this side. So you would not see this kind of widespread damage all across Longmont. It is really hit or miss. But this house right here, everything that was above has been completely ripped off. This part, which was where the roof is, it's gone. There were two people inside this home when the storm came through last night. They both survived, and they survived without a scrape on them. They also got their dog out. They're staying with other family members here in Colorado right now. They have not been back to see the damage yet, and I can only imagine what they're going to have to deal with once they start picking up their pieces. Their son-in-law has been here. He's been trying to get away some of the debris, cut up what he can. But look, I mean, with a mess like this, I mean, this is not something that you can just clean up on your own. This is something that's going to take weeks, if not months, to clean up. We've also been talking to a few of the deputies that have been out here And they've been worried about some of the flooding on some of the roads as well. And that's why they're encouraging people, if you're going to be up here, you really need to be a homeowner or a first responder. They don't want people that are just coming out here to look, because these people, well, they've lost everything and they need to make sure they get the resources that they're going to have. As we've mentioned, we were out here all night. It's a lightning storm that myself and my colleague out here have never seen before. It was unbelievable. The sky just illuminated for hours on end. That lightning really didn't stop for us until about 12:30 last night. And it was hard to believe what we saw this morning. But you can see right there, that's a barn that's completely collapsed in there. There's a trailer that was underneath it.
Of the damage there, Mark. A family very, very sad this morning.
Kim, it's unbelievable that they survived what they went through last night. There were 2 people in the home behind me when the storm came through, probably about 6 o'clock. And as you can see, well, there's not much left. What you're looking at there, this is the back of the house. This is where some of the bedrooms are. But the most dramatic thing right there is a horse trailer that was thrown up into the air, flipped, and then thrown right into the house, right where those bedrooms would be. It is unbelievable that anyone could survive this. There was an older couple as with their dog. They both survived along with their animal, and they really do call it a miracle. The family has been nice enough to let us come out here to show you some of the damage. It really is unbelievable. We also show this tree. Rico, if we kind of pan over here, the force of the wind and everything that came with it, ripping every tree branch off that it could find. And it sent it like shrapnel, flying every which direction. And what's amazing is if you just go maybe a half mile down the road, you don't see anything quite like this. This is just certain spots that were kind of hit or miss when it came to this storm coming through. We've been talking to a few of the different sheriff's deputies that have been out here. They've been worried about some of the rivers flowing onto the roads and that it wasn't safe for people, so they set up roadblocks. Also, when we see these kind of storms, you'll also see the deputies say, you know what, we can't just let anybody in at this point. They only want homeowners as well as first responders, just to make sure that everyone is recovered and accounted for at the same time. Again, the miracle with this family right here behind me, they survived. And I'll tell you what, you can see them happening right now. They're coming up here to pick up the pieces. It is a miracle what they've gone through in the last 24 hours, if that now. And our prayers are out with them. We're thankful that they survived, and we're also very passed through last night. We were out here all night long, and it was amazing to see the lightning, the wind, the hail, the rain. It just didn't stop. It kept going for 5 hours at a time. And for the people whose property we're on right now, they know we're here. They really did go through hell last night. It's amazing that they survived. If I show you what's left, that is a barn or some sort of like structure that they would have some of the farming equipment. It's completely collapsed. You can see there was a Chevy truck underneath it. Somehow it's still there, but the rest of the house, it's not so much. That is just one part of the property. If you really want to get an idea of just how big this storm was, how fast moving and how powerful it was, this is what it did right here. This is a horse trailer, a three-year-old horse trailer that was flipped upside down, thrown up against the house. That is a bedroom of the house right there. There were 2 people inside at the time this storm struck. They both survived. They were an older couple with their dog. Their family was able to come out and get them. I cannot imagine what they've been going through there. We've been talking to their son-in-law all day, and he says he just can't believe it that they would survive all of this. The destruction, it is throughout the entire house. We went through the kitchen with the family. We had a chance to go through the living rooms. Really, nothing is left. And for the people that were in there, for this to be what they survived, it really is a miracle. We haven't seen any reports of deaths or any real serious injuries here in northern Colorado. When we were out here from about 6 p.m. last night until 1 a.m. That's when the storm really did not stop. We saw more lightning than I think either myself or my colleague Rico Romero ever saw in our entire lives. If we also show them out there, Rico, that's a good point. This is the roof, the back end of that roof of the house. That would be near like the sunroom and an office space. The roof is completely gone. So if you were inside there, you really didn't have a chance. Everything that was pulled off, not just the shingles, but every piece of structure of that house that was there is completely ripped apart. And also the tree limbs that we've seen out there. Now the family, they're out here, they're going through the damage, but obviously a long day, week, and month ahead for them. Reporting live in Longmont, Mark Meredith, back to you guys.